like ordinance, first reading, then second reading, and then it takes 30 days? Or when are you hoping we can adopt these today?
The council can adopt them today if they're happy with them. These ones are all adopted by resolution. The policies are, or rescinding the policy is. If the council has any changes to them, certainly I'd be happy to bring them back, but it's just one reading. They don't have to come back multiple times. If the city council did want to change, participation rules that are outlined in the municipal code, or those rules that apply to conduct during the council meetings by, remote or in-person participants, that would require an ordinance that would need 2 readings and then take 30 days to go into effect.
Mr. Mayor, at an appropriate time, I'd like to move approval, but I'll wait for everyone else to comment.
Thank you. Want to recognize the member from District 3?
If there are no other comments, I'd like to recommend to adopt A, B, and C in a vote. I'd like to make a motion now.
Okay, and do we have any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second for all A, B, and C. Madam Clerk, if you can please read the heading.
Item 8.6A is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista adopting a new City Council policy addressing a disruption of telephonic or internet service during City Council meetings. Item 8.6B is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista determining reasonable efforts to encourage public participation in City Council meetings pursuant to Government Code Section 54953.4. And Resolution C is resolution of the City Council of the City of Chula Vista rescinding City Council Policy 104-02, remote council meeting participation by council members.
Please vote. Item carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, thank you very much for your presentation and your work on this item. We will now go to item 10, the City Manager's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report this evening.
I'm going to go ahead and save mine, but let's go ahead and go through the council members, and let's start with the member from District 1.
I'm going to save the rest. I'm just going to really quickly mention, you know what? I'm just going to save it for the next council meeting.
I will recognize the member from District 2.
So I'm going to seek consensus on a couple of items. The first is we all, my staff in particular, received communications from the Office of Communications with new insignias, labeled logos, and things like that. And I'm just trying to understand better when we can use or what we can use these materials for. I want to make sure that we, in using them to publicize our events and activities, we have clear rules about what can have these official logos or not. I for example, know that we're working like on like a tent structure. What are they called?
Canopy?
A canopy. Of putting it on a canopy, and does it have to be a certain color, or can it be any color I want, or just some of the bounds? It would be helpful to have a memo that clarifies these things. And then secondly, I've been thinking about more regular public meetings outside city venues, very similar to what the mayor is doing. Obviously, the state of the city is a very formal city activity. Well, it is a report to the public, but for example, one of the things that I've been thinking about is reserving or renting space on 3rd Avenue, and I don't know if I have to use my budget or if I can use city budget, or so what I'm looking for is what are the bounds when we have public meetings that are not in facilities? Because when I have meetings at Norman Park Senior Center, it's seamless. But if I don't want to have a meeting there, or it's, people don't want to go because they're not seniors. In fact, I had 2 people unlist themselves from my list because they said, we're not seniors, don't send us that stuff. So if there are other venues, or, you know, I'm thinking on Third Avenue, for example, in my district, there are quinceañera halls. In other districts, there might be other venues or opportunities. So I'm just trying to understand if we can use our city budget, and then if we wanted to have the event facilitated, how we go about requesting, like the Office of Communications or the city manager's team to help us as we produce some of these things. So maybe one of the things that we can do is understand, for example, how, and by the way, you put on a good show. I think we had horses a few years back. We had an airplane last year. So I think that the mayor does a very good thing for our featured public meeting that we all participate in. But I'm wondering if there could be some clarity on what we can use, what staff is available, what equipment is available, and I don't think any meeting that I have will require parking management of that kind, because I think I attract like 3 people or usually 3 people to my meetings. But what are the typical bounds that we should have as political officers of the city when we're having a meeting as members of council sharing with our constituents when it's not a city facility, like the Norman Park Senior Center? I know how to do that. I've been doing it for 3 years. But what if I wanted to have an event at a quinceañera hall? Can I invite staff? Can staff help me? What are the bounds? And I don't know if we can get consensus to get some clarity at a future meeting on these kinds of, or a memo maybe. Maybe it's not even a meeting. Maybe we can get a memo that just outlines what we can do, what we cannot do, what is appropriate for us to request. Like, for example, I usually have an event once a year, and thank you, Mayor, you sometimes join us with a middle school, and we use the speaker system of the city.
CBLCC.
The CBLCC, and you know, I find that very supportive. But what if I have something that's not in a city facility? What can I expect? And so I don't know if there's other comments about this, but I seek consensus to get from the city manager's office or the city attorney, what are the bounds when we have an off-city venue? Who can attend, who can be supported, how much we can charge or cost, and just get an understanding of that. Is that something that I can get consensus from everyone about?
Yeah, yes, I think we have consensus. I think there are sort of some rules, and obviously we're already there, and we want to be able to follow those. Normally what happens is if we're going to use another facility that isn't a city facility, we need to either have them donate it or we get sponsorship money to be able to pay for it. So I think that was always been the rule of thumb, but we'll see if there's any specific rules about that.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Can I just clarify a couple things? Because I think you started this conversation by wanting a memo that clarifies rules regarding the recent communications guidelines and logos, et cetera. So that seems to be separate and apart from the other question, right? And so.
There was one question, and then the second question was, the second question was about events. So if I want to have a public meeting, a state of my district, let's say it that way. What are the bounds if I'm not using Norman Park Senior Center? I'm pretty clear of what I can do there. I use the equipment that's there, the facilities that's there, and it's an official city meeting. That's fine. But what if it's not? What if I move to a quinceañera hall, or I have to do other things, or some other public venue? What can I charge? Can I use my council office account, or can the city manager's office support me, or how does that work?
Okay, and just to clarify, I think you phrased it as community meetings. Would that be inclusive of sort of events?
Well, I'm referring to when I, as a member of the city council, take my office outside and want to engage with my constituents. I'm not thinking of a party or a festive event of any kind. I'm thinking like, I'm informing my constituents of a city problem or a city service, or I want to get input on a future policy idea. And then it's the instance where I'm thinking that I'm operating as a member of council seeking formal feedback or engagement with my constituents. If I wanted to go campaign, I know how to do that. That's not what I'm asking about. What I'm asking about is and I'm using we're going to be going next couple Tuesdays from now to the state of the city, and that's on an off-campus kind of thing. It's a city property too, but we don't operate it. So I'm just trying to understand how that works, who pays for it, how we pay for it, and then can I rely on communication staff, or who can help me put on such an event if I needed to do that? Now, again, my experience is at Norman Park Senior Center, but that's, they open the doors, they close the doors, they staff it. They provide with the equipment, that kind of stuff. But what if I'm not at that facility? Can I use my city council account or not? Or do I have to get donors, like you just suggested, donors and sponsors to pay for everything?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Councilmember Preciado. I think I have the information. I need to go ahead and get started on this. And you had mentioned the city attorney or the city manager, I think.
A combo.
Okay. Well, I think maybe what's appropriate here is I'll have a conversation with the city manager, and we'll decide how to address this referral. Thank you very much.
Are you done?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. I recognize the member from District 3.
No report.
District 4?
Bear with me, five sentences. I need to make a two-part referral to the city manager. First, regarding the naming of the new park at 4th and Oxford. And second, to review and recommend revisions to the recently adopted asset naming policy, 470-01. I recently received a letter from the Firefighters Association, local IAFF 2180, requesting that the park being developed on the former site of Fire Station Number 5 be named in honor of Roy Franzen Jr. For nearly 4 decades, Roy was a beloved and constant presence at Fire Station 5, becoming part of the station family, and just representing the spirit of connection and camaraderie. So as this location transitions into a public park, and after discussions with the city manager's office, the current policy appears a little too overly prescriptive and may unnecessarily limit the council's ability to thoughtfully name city assets. So a review and possible revision would help make the policy more practical and adaptable. So I seek consensus for that referral.
I agree.
I agree.
All right, thank you.
It looks like we have 4 members that agree with the consensus.
That is all.
Okay. I will go back to the mayors, and I'm going to just try to do this bullet point here. I was hoping everybody would say no report, and then I would say no report, but I was very just honored to host a veterans lunch at the Elks Lodge. We had over 100 veterans there. Want to thank Carniceria for them basically providing the meat and the barbecue, and they are incredible. They have been just a incredibly great, good business, and we really appreciate them. I attended the State of the City Imperial Beach given by Mayor Mitch McKay, and I appreciate their collaboration. I attended the Chula Vista Police Department's promotional ceremony, and I want to congratulate David Martinez on his well-deserved promotion, as well as Eric Mendoza and Zachary Petrie to their promotions. I attended the EMT graduation where I spoke about the importance of service, and it was amazing because these EMT folks are just amazing what they can do and how they really just have been able to dig in and learn some very complicated things in a very short time. I was honored and recognized several new businesses, the Burrito Factory, which was a great story because they started out as a food truck in Otay Mesa about 19 years ago, and they've worked their way up, and now they have opened a physical restaurant location on 3rd Avenue. Joined Dos Tres Dos at the ribbon cutting for their new restaurant. Adrian Gonzalez, who is a Chula Vistan, was there, a former Padre All-Star. It was great seeing him and the rest of their family, and it was just a neat time. So when you get a chance, when you're in Otay Ranch, it's a great place to go get some food. We went ahead and did, alongside ribbon cutting, a new clinic to care for children with autism and guide families through that process. As we know, autism is a major issue in our community, and we want to make sure that we have support services for the families that are dealing with a family member with autism. We did the ribbon cutting and opened up Mark Urgent Care in the new clinic in the Sunbow community. It was amazing. They are just an incredible, great urgent care facility, and many times people will unfortunately go to the emergency room when all they have to go is go to the urgent care, and they can get very, very quick coverage and quick service by going to an urgent care facility. Calvary Chapel had their special Easter egg hunt. It inspired me seeing again. I have participated many years in this, and it was great because these children with special needs, they had so much fun in their Easter egg hunts and things like that. Want to just go ahead and put this on speed dial here. But again, I was honored to celebrate the Chula Vista Rotary Club's 100th anniversary. It's amazing. As a city, our history goes way, way back, and there are so many organizations like the Chula Vista Rotary Club that have been a staple of community service for our city, and I just want to congratulate them for their 100th anniversary. And then on April 28th at 6:30 to 8 o'clock, I will be giving my 4th State of the City address at the Chula Vista Elite Training Center, and I hope I'll see you all there. We're going to have a lot of great time, a lot of fun stuff, little surprises, and it'll be great to give an overview of all the great things that are happening in the city of Chula Vista. So thank you very much, and I will go ahead and pass it over to the city clerk.
I have no report this evening, thank you.
I will recognize the city attorney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to first of all thank our city clerk for the work she did on item 8.6, the Brown Act updates in SB 707. I think we have a tremendous asset in our city clerk here, Carrie Bigelow. I mean, you may not know, but she's conducted numerous trainings for other clerks around the state as well as other city attorneys, so she does a great job, and we're fortunate to have her. Having said that, I also wanted to point out that today happens to be International Be Kind to Lawyers Day, so I've celebrated by being here with all of you all night, and I just wanted to take a moment. And thank the attorneys in my office who work every day to support the city's operations. And in recognition of International Be Kind to Lawyers Day, I encourage all of you to show a little extra appreciation for the legal work that keeps the city out of trouble. And while our answers are often, it depends,
CPS federal funding through Medi-Cal, which is already going bankrupt, unlimited funding, I might add. There was not unlimited funding for children who were being taken away from their parents. And when the state of California did it, and the other states, they only did the most egregious cases. Now it's profitable for them to make allegations against parents, whether they're true or not. Even if they're not true, they get more money, and they get more money when children are adopted out. That has to end. That is a corporate incentive for child trafficking and taking your kids away. In a court where you don't have the right to face your accusers, like the Constitution says, in an open court. Literally, it's one judge, and he does gag orders on the parents, and they're not allowed to talk about it, and that's why you never hear about it. It's totally against the Constitution. A criminal literally has more rights than a parent in a child traffic court. It's got to stop. It's got to end. And it only happens in America because we're the only ones funding it. And it's bankrupting our already bankrupt Medi-Cal system that's profitable for the corporations.
San Diego is a huge human trafficking hub. They traffic children through CPS, which is run by Health and Human Services in the county of San Diego, but across the nation, that is run by RFK Jr. And he already admitted to the HHS trafficking the unaccompanied alien children that came across the border. Those children also went through the foster care system that they manufacture cases with parents in order to take their children. The criteria changes along the way. When you have to take a child, you have to meet the criteria of showing that there is detriment, immediate detriment, so they will manufacture false reports and allegations in order to take the child. They will put them into foster care, and immediately they will go ahead and get your child's social security number so they can start to get funding from the Title IV funding through Social Security that goes to basically adopt children out. It's a very lucrative business. This came forward with ASFA, the Adoption and Safe Families Act, brought forward by the Clintons in 1997. And therefore, they have an incentive to rip a family apart and adopt them out to another family. The interesting thing they say is, as well, is that those children always want to go back home when they're 18. So they know that these children go and look for their families, though they say that they're, so when they're meeting the criteria to take your child, they'll say there's some kind of detriment. Then they'll put you into the services and programs that they have, telling you that if you complete these, you will get your children back. Though when you do complete them, they tell you that they just don't feel like you've learned anything, and so therefore it doesn't really matter what you did over the last, 12 to 15 months, because that is how long it takes to adopt a child out. Although if they are younger, it's a lot quicker. It can go from 3 to 6 months. Because you're funding child trafficking, and it should bother you. You're paying taxes that go to taking children and ripping them apart from their families. They actually go into the Epstein files. That's where those children come from. Are you a pedo? Is from CPS and foster care. It's a very lucrative business to take children.
Why are you mad that we're out here? Being a voice for kids.
You can watch Never in America by Ryan Matta and learn exactly what our federal and local governments are doing with children. It is a very lucrative business. We fund it through Title IV funding. It happens in your local community through the county and through HHS, and then they have child and family well-being here in San Diego. It used to be Child Welfare Services. They actually had to rebrand it because of the children that have died that have been taken from their families and placed into foster care. One of them, Arabella McCormick, was 11 years old. She died at 48 pounds because she was being starved to death by her foster family as well as beaten. In fact, the discovery in the case led to showing that there had been text messages that were going between the family members to see who could beat the children up the most, to egg each other on, to ensure that they would be kind of playing a game of abuse with these children. And unfortunately, Arabella McCormick died, and just recently there was a $30 million settlement that has gone to the family. There's also Delilah. She was 3 months old and 4 pounds when she died because she was being starved to death and should have been actually removed. So when there are cases of abuse, they tend not to do anything, but when there aren't, they will manufacture it so that they can put these children through the conveyor belt of child trafficking through CPS. And again, many of those children go into the trafficking of the Epstein files that has happened there, but across the world. This is going on in your local community. This is happening in the church. It is happening in the San Diego Police Department. It is happening in daycares. It's happening in the school. Anywhere there are children, even if it's an arcade, you should be making sure that you are not leaving your child unattended, because what could possibly happen is, who knows, someone might give them a coin to touch them. That is things that take place, and I understand that people don't want to talk about these things, but that's why they continue, is because nobody wants to talk about the atrocities that are happening with children that we are funding. If you think that your taxes are going to infrastructure and different things, you better believe that the San Diego City needs $5 billion just to take care of their storm infrastructure. So no matter what, the local and the state and the federal government are going to come after you for more money, more money, more money, because they are not good stewards of our money. They throw it away, put it in their pockets. They get kickbacks to make people homeless, to put people in diversion programs, to put people in jail, to take children, to abuse the elderly, to abuse animals. It is very atrocious, the things that we fund. And so until you start quit funding the government, that's the only way that these things are going to stop. Any vote that you make is not going to matter, because this is from the top to the bottom. Why do you think the Epstein files have not fully been released and there have been no arrests? It's because the entire government has been occupied by a bunch of pedophilia, pedophiles who like to engage in satanic rituals with children. So this is Satan's playground, and until you understand that, you're not going to understand how such evil, atrocious things can happen, and why we have to turn away and start changing the way that we each individually react to the things that are going on, and stand in the gap for children who are unable to speak for themselves. If you want change, you better be the change. Until then, there will be no change.
Woo! That's right.
If you want to know more about what I'm talking about with CPS and the funding that comes from our local governments and the federal government, in fact, like I said, when there was an invasion happening on our border that everybody said it was secure, they were trafficking humans, that was all funded by us. Hundreds of thousands of children went missing. And you can go and watch Ryan Matta's documentaries, Never in America. You can also watch Tropics. These are very good educational documentaries that will inform you of where our funding, where our money is going, and why they keep asking for more and more money from us, you guys. We've got to stop funding all of these nefarious agendas. We need to be making sure our communities can thrive, but right now they're just trying to survive, and until you guys make a change, it's going to get worse. It's up to us to turn away from all of this and say these constructs that you have put up around us are fictitious and false and have made to enslave us. It's time for us to step out of that prison cell and walk into the light and say, not today, no more. We are not going to continue to fund your racket. anything. The legislator is in our legislature forward bills that sometimes with having sex with children and consent, or saying that if you're only 10 years apart, that it's okay as long as that child consents. That is pedophilia. He is a minor attracted person, as they would call it. He is in and I'm wondering when that's going to bother people enough to say, why are we allowing this to happen? We don't have to allow it to happen. And again, if you want to go and see more about this, you can watch Never in America by Ryan Matta. You can go to YouTube, you can go to X and find Ryan Matta Media and share this and educate yourself on really where our funding is going, because CPS is not what they claim. They do not protect children. They do anything but that. It is very lucrative to take children, as I was saying. You meet criteria along the way. And if they want to terminate reunification, they'll have to make up some other reason. And so your case could start out with a domestic violence accusation and end up, when they want to adopt your children out, they'll tell you that there is no bond, that it won't really matter if your children never see you again because you're young enough to be adopted. You're adoptable. Somebody will take you and love you. And you know what? If you want to go back to your family when you're 18, you can do that. It is a business to put children through the system. It is a business to put the elderly through the system. It is a business to have the homeless industrial complex running like it does. You can't get rid of the problem because there's no funding if you do. So you got to manage the problems and you got to create more of the problems so that you can get more funding, because heck, if you show there's a need, the funding will come in. So start minding and paying attention to where your money is going. If you think Todd Gloria has cleaned up the homeless problem, all you got to do is go downtown outside City Hall at the nighttime, and then by 6 a.m. or so, they've been cleaned up, because it's an eyesore to see the people there suffering and just wanting to get into some kind of housing.
This is not left or right. This is not Republican or Democrat. This is good versus evil. That's right. Woo! The whole left and right illusion of choice is just another tactic of theirs to keep you divided and not focused on what they're really doing behind the scenes. Democrats, Republicans, they're all friends behind the scenes, and everything that you see on TV is just a big act. Behind the scenes, they sit back in their mansions and they laugh at you as you stay divided between Democrat and Republican, red and blue. It's all BS, and it's all just a distraction to keep you not focused on what's really going on, which is human trafficking.
Our babies are not for sale.
Our babies are not for sale. San Diego, you are not angry enough. Children are being trafficked as we speak. Politicians are involved. Athletes are involved. The elite of the world are involved in human trafficking. It's real. It's not a hoax.
If you're okay with this, you're okay with pedophilia. If you're not.
Yeah, we just messing with. And as a man, if you're not pissed off about this, then you had too much soy milk growing up. Too much fluoride in your water. And it desensitized you. It feminized you into not being a warrior and wanting to be able to stand up for the children and defend women.
You guys are not mad enough in San Diego.
Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
Pedo lives do not matter.
God's children are not for sale. God's children are not for sale. God's children are not for sale.
God's children are not for sale.
Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
Pedophile lives do not matter. Pedophile lives do not matter. San Diego, you guys have to wake up.
The Epstein files, the redacted Epstein files were released 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago, and not one arrest has been made. Think about it. Why is the president covering up the Epstein files? I'll tell you why, because he's in them. He ran his campaign based on the fact that he would bring this all to justice. That he would bring all the pedophiles to justice, and he would end it. And he would end human trafficking, but it has not happened. And it does not look like it's going to happen. So it's going to take us, the people, we the people, to rise up and end this.
That's right.
You're not angry enough.
Pedophile has got to go. Either home or the prison. There's no and, if, or but about it. There are two places that a pedophile will go. Prison or death. In the Revolutionary War, did the say that says, give me a lady or give me death. I want liberty, but also I want death. Death to pedophiles. Let's get it and let's hang the pedophiles to a goddamn tree. San Diego, my question is, are you mad yet? And I know the answer. No. No. You guys are not mad yet. What will it take for you to be mad at these pedophiles? What will it take? Another revolution? Another? No. To get mad at these pedophiles. Because if we don't, you'll let them win. This should anger you. That. The FD file should anger you. Are you angry? No. Why aren't you angry enough? It's because, I hate to say it, but are you one of them? Are you one of those pedophiles? That's why you're not angry? Is that why you're not mad? It's because you're being exposed too. You are being exposed too. And it does not matter if you're blue. It does not matter if you're red. It does not matter if you vote Trump. It does not matter if you vote Kamala. What matters is that we're being divided right now, as we speak. So, wake up stick your head out your ass and talk about these things. Because one out of way. This is only the tip of the iceberg. And also with the bottle, you're either for us or you're against us. I would rather be for God than be for this crap. Some people, where are you at? Where are you at? Why are you asleep? Why are you not? We need to really do. People, teenagers, young boys are being trafficked as we speak. It's our First Amendment right to speak up about this. And we will not go quiet. We will continue to speak about this. We will continue to protest with it.
You see the post about what
We will not be
Larry
quiet.
fears?
We will not be quiet.
Let's see if he can.
And if you're the ones who are quiet about this, then you are the
Fears
problem.
that people are going to use the drones on the AI center.
Of course, because that's where he makes all his money, is collecting all our data, because BlackRock and Vanguard gets it through all the contracts because they own all the companies.
I like that idea.
They're crazy though. It's like everyone's all worried about like ALPR and stuff. I'm like, our data is going to like the people that run the world. Are you cool with that? Like just being willingly given internal, like they breach the system that they
Which
own.
is a documentary on YouTube about people. And
We have a chance
into myself, but I will.
data center.
Bet your bottom dollar that I will. I will watch it. And you know,
We're going to have a meeting about that this I thought you would have been was on board.
Right.
You know, on Epstein Island, they found a copper bull, a huge copper bull with a door on its chest. And in that door, what they would do is they would heat up that copper bull and they would feed babies to it. And this is real. This is not a lie. That is a sacrifice to bow to Satan. And that's what they're doing to children. And it is not a lie.
Like the 10 bullet points,
This has been going on for years. This is a satanic cult that is running our country. Our country is ran by satanic pedophiles.
Bluetooth your phone to it.
And the way they get to do whatever they want, they manipulate our politicians and they get them in compromised positions, doing things to little kids, recording them so that they can pass laws that benefit them. Groups like AIPAC that pretty much have infiltrated our government in Washington. Every politician, left or right, Democrat or Republican, is a member of AIPAC, and they're funded by AIPAC. So if it's an AIPAC-funded politician, you know he's going to be corrupt. And he's going to push for pedophilia. And they're not going to fight against it. So it's going to take we, the people, to rise up and fight against pedophilia. That's why we're here today. We are not left. We are not right. We are done with that. We are done with this Luciferian system. It's a beast system, and any politician that's still running under any of those flags is a part of it. And we're done with it. That's why we're here today. Because we are not going to stop fighting human trafficking and child trafficking.
He's now immune from...
It's time to wake up, people. I know you're enjoying your beautiful day. I wish I was out here doing the same thing with my daughters and my wife. But I have to be out here fighting for the children. and bringing awareness to what's going on in the world, the reality of our world, that we are ruled by satanic pedophiles.
I think they made the deal that.
And it's in every city, every state, every town. It's all part of a beast system.
For Israel. And
make sure to watch the YouTube movie Never in America, and you'll get informed there. You'll learn a lot of what we're talking about today. It's a documentary on YouTube, Never in America.
Maybe even before that.
Release all files. Arrest all pedophiles.
Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
God's children are not for sale.
God's children are not for sale.
God's children are not for sale.
God's children are not for sale. San Diego, you're not angry enough. Pay attention to what's going on. Read the Epstein files. Go to the Department of Justice website and you'll see what's going on in there. It's all real. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. A few years ago, if you spoke about this stuff, it was just a conspiracy theory. But the files have proved that it's real. A satanic cult is running our country, is running the world.
God's children are not for sale.
God's children are not for sale.
Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
Oh, yeah. You might be back at the border soon.
No, I need to go. I have a friend that said there's a lot of stuff going on. I actually was supposed to go this week, but
Greg, you might even want to try and get on Greg Bovino. He was in Trump's administration.
Most of the children that go missing around the world are American children. It's our children that are going missing. More than any other country in the world. It's here. They are after our children. They hate you. They hate us. They hate our children. So to them, it's nothing to sacrifice them. Mostly American children are the ones that go missing.
God's children are not for sale. Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
People need to see Never in America on YouTube for free. It's a documentary about CPS, trafficking children. Literally, I know that sounds radical, so let me make some points here. And this is shown in the film, Never in America on YouTube for free. Literally, they get more money for making allegations against parents, even if the allegations are not true. CPS gets more money for children being adopted out. It's possible. Before 1997, when the Clintons made an act that gives unlimited funding through Medi-Cal to hospitals.
Adoption and Safe Families Act.
For child care for kids that are adopted or separated from their parents. Before that, the states would only go after the most egregious cases because it wasn't profitable. Now it's a corporate, profitable business. And literally a criminal has more rights than a parent in a court, in a juvenile court, to take your kids away. That they put gag orders on the parents. That's why you guys haven't heard about what's going on. The parents are threatened with gag orders. With a single judge, constitutionally, a murderer or somebody committing a serious crime has a right to face their accuser. But parents don't get that right. That's why you haven't heard of what's going on. And the fact that it's profitable. You can see all this in the documentary. Not someone's opinion, a real documentary about a family, a good family having their kids taken away. And it's a miracle they got him back. Never in America by Ryan Mata on YouTube. It's free. Never in America. See the documentary. It'll prove the things I'm talking about, and this has to stop. It's become profitable for the CPS subdivision subsidiary corporation to make money taking your kids, whether the allegations are true or not. Unlimited funding at the hospitals. See Never in America by Ryan Mott.
The argument can also be made that these data centers
Don't
are
believe me?
already
See Never in
obsolete
America on YouTube.
because they're
A
going to be
documentary about CPS trafficking children.
downsizing
Or
and
profit.
shrinking. But we don't have the resources here for water and electricity that would be necessary.
We are the Save Our Children movement. We are nationwide. If you want to find more information on us, if you'd like to join us, if you'd like to join the fight, look it up. We SaveOurChildrenWorldwide.com, that's our website. And also on Instagram, you can find us Save Our Children San Diego, Save Our Children Update.
That'd be a good spot, though.
We're going to be doing these every month until more people wake up and we can really start a revolution. It's time to wake up, people. That's your wake-up call. Our world is ran by a satanic cult of pedophiles. You need to pay attention to what's going on. The same CEO of the photography company that
God's children are not for sale.
was implicated in the Epstein files. And as soon as his name popped up, he resigned as CEO of the photography company. So the person that was in charge of taking pictures of your kids' school portrait was in the Epstein files. Think about it. That's how deep this runs. Time to wake up, America. Your children are in danger. The pedophiles, Epstein files are real. It is not a hoax. The whole hoax thing is just a distraction to get you to not think about it and not focus on it and to keep you divided. A democratic hoax is what he called it. That's a bunch of bullshit. Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles. Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles. Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles.
All right, are you gonna hold my camera? Sure.
God's children are not for sale. We're out here being a voice for the children. We gotta save the children. Release all files. Arrest all pedophiles. Wake up, people. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Release the files. Arrest all pedophiles. God's children are not for sale. San Diego is a huge human trafficking hub. They traffic children through CPS, which is run by Health and Human Services Agency. The director of that here in San Diego is Elizabeth Hernandez. We also have Alfredo Guardado, who runs CFWB, Child and Family Wellbeing. The one who is running HHS is RFK Jr., and he already admitted to trafficking the children that came across the border unaccompanied. They'd have a nice little address taped or, fastened to their shirt so that the Border Patrol and the Office of Refugee Resettlement would know where to take these children, and these children were being taken to thousands of them to one location, but there's nothing to see there, no questionable acts. Nobody questioned why these children were showing up at our border unaccompanied at 2 years old, just going, this is where I need to go, I'm going to go to my sponsor. And so through FEMA funding, we send these children who knows where. They have disappeared, and that's the problem. They're also disappearing when they get taken from their families through CPS. They also do it in family court and put the children with the abusive parent because it's a very lucrative business. We are funding this through Title IV funding. It also happens through Medicare when they go into the hospital. And so places like Rady Children's Hospital is engaged in this, helping remove children from their families by even just saying that there's a medical concern. If your child has some kind of bruise or something that they find questionable just because they fell, they could say that you have been abusing your child and take them. And then what they do is they put them into a foster family who could potentially abuse them more, and they have a chance of dying, like Arabella McCormick, who was 11 years old. And she was 48 pounds when she died. That's the size of a 5-year-old. And so she pretty much looked like a Shar-Pei puppy and was being abused by her foster family. In fact, again, in discovery, they found that there were text messages being sent back and forth in the family talking about who was going to abuse the children the most and worse and what they were going to do, egging each other on to kind of like a game to see who could beat these children, starve them, give them one little Dixie cup of water, saying that they have stomach issues. It's interesting, CPS went and spoke to the children in front of the foster family, which obviously is not going to make them afraid, right? And so they say, well, yeah, we just give her this Dixie cup full of water because she's got stomach issues. I'm wondering if it was because she wasn't eating. Who knows? I mean, 48 pounds as an 11-year-old is pretty ridiculous. Or we have Delilah. She was 4 pounds at 3 months old, so she was being starved when she should be at least triple the weight. But that's okay. You know, we just wind up paying out settlements for those, like the $30 million that went to the McCormicks for the death of Arabella. And at that point in time, the agency, CFWB, had to get that name because child and family, or child well-being, needed to change because it had a stain on it once you have children dying in the system that you're not protecting. And so then, you know, with ASPA, that the Clintons brought forward in 1997, that put a fast track on these adoptions. So after 12 to 15 months, you better get those kids into another family using the Adoption and Safe Families Act, which brought in Title IV funding through Social Security. So we are funding the trafficking of these children. Many of them have ended up in the Epstein files. This is being, these children are being distributed throughout the United States. And, you know, you can sell these children over and over. It's a very, you know, again, lucrative business. It's not like drugs. You do the drugs and they're gone. It's like you can just keep selling that child, and then as soon as they get, you know, to the point where you can't abuse them anymore, then you can just sell their organs because a body parted out is about $3 million. And so that's interesting. Many of the children that came across the border were having their organs sold, you know, their eyes or whatever they just felt was going to bring in some money. And they're just disposable. So it's time for us to wake up and quit, you know, being silent about the things that are going on around us that we're funding. We need to quit paying our taxes that's funding this organized crime syndicate that is doing satanic rituals and funding their own, you know, pleasures off the backs and suffering of humanity. And it's up to us to change it. So if you guys just want to continue to go down this path, let's just keep doing what we're doing. But if you really want change, then you need to be the change. And until you're willing to be the change, there will be no change. So let's get busy changing the world around us, because it is very easy. The people in charge, as you can see, are running everybody into the ground, making you just trying to survive instead of thriving. They take billions and trillions of dollars of ours that people work very, very hard for, and what do? They just keep coming back to you for more. We need to raise your taxes. We need to charge you for more parking. We need to put your new trash fee on your house property taxes so that if you can't pay it, it's okay. We can take your house from you and then sell it for a pretty penny. So there is a huge problem with very nefarious people running things And so no matter how you vote, it's not going to change it. That's an illusion of choice. They set that up just to make you think that it's left versus right. It's not red versus blue. It's the government versus you. And until you realize that, you're going to stay in the constructs that they have put up around you, thinking that you need to take the blue pill so that you can pay rent. So if you're ready to stop just surviving, then you got to be the change that you want to see.
Never in America. Yep, exactly. And they're dividing us on purpose so that we can. Never in America. Stop hitting my point.
Watch Never in America on YouTube. It's Ryan Matta's documentary. You will see how CPS has been trafficking children. You can also watch Trafficked, which also talks about the unaccompanied alien children that also did go through foster care. So when you guys are ready to wake up, we'll be here. We can go and we can change the world around us, you guys. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be this way, but if you just think it does, then you're going to act like this is an acceptable way to live. And it isn't. You shouldn't just be surviving. You should be thriving. And so again, if you want to be the change, if you want to see change, you need to be the change.
Yep, it's not red versus blue anymore. It's us against them. Or them against us. And we need to do whatever we can for the kids. So.
What happened? What? Oh.
So we need to wake up, get involved if you can.
Let's take a picture.
Yeah.
Go to movement.
Yeah, do you want to say anything else or for us?
Yeah, you guys, so this was our third Save Our Children March, San Diego. We came out here, we did it again. My friend Audra, like always, a true warrior, fighting from day one, never giving up. My boy Josh here and beautiful people that showed up today. Not a big group, but hey, it's all about showing up and not giving up. That's the main reason why we're out here. We're not here for numbers. We're here to wake people up, and today was a huge awakening. Lots of people walking by, lots of foot traffic. We have some haters, but we also have a lot of people supporting us. And we're gonna keep coming back every month. We're not giving up. We're gonna keep finding the Epstein files, keep exposing the truth, and I want you to do the same thing. Keep exposing your truth. Never give up, and keep fighting. It's us versus them, remember that. Agenda 2030 is almost here, so we gotta start planning for that too and start getting ready.
Amen, brother, thank you. All right, you guys. Anybody else want to say something?
All right, before we head out, let's take a picture.
All right, you guys, we're going to close out today. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed that and that you are able to join one in your local community, and if not, create one. Again, you can go to saveourchildrenworldwide.com and find out where one is in your local community. And I just encourage you guys to keep speaking about the truth so that we can change the trajectory of things, because until we start accepting that this is our reality, nothing is going to change. And again, until we are the change, nothing will change. So God bless you guys. Save our children. I'm Eye of the Storm, Audra Morgan, and we will see you guys next month. Stay tuned for post of the next date, and hope to see you. We're going to keep changing the location, and my hope is that maybe we can join with other communities, and go to their city or county, and just kind of start moving around. But that way we can kind of unite together. Excuse me. And so God bless you guys. It's been a wonderful day. Let's keep going. This man stands alone by the freeways and holds this sign. He's a one-man show, and now we got to join with him. So it's great, and love you guys, and stay tuned. All right, it's never a dull moment in San Diego. Save our children. God bless. Bye.